Here's how to eliminate high risk trades without the senseless backtest sessions in only 15 minutes. Now, this was a position from August 28th, Dow Jones shorts at -4% on August 28th, and it follows my simple 4-step framework. Or as I have it here, the 4-step framework that I abide by. Framing the trade idea, how are we actually getting involved in prices development, the entry, and then the exit. Now, phase 1, framing the actual trade idea. What was interesting, let me see this is working properly. What was interesting is that having such a framework or using such a framework allows a few things to happen. Well, let's say there's one main thing to happen. It means that you can filter out ridiculous trades that you shouldn't be taking, and more or less avoidable losses, if that makes sense. So one thing I could stress on at the start of this video is actually having a framework that you abide by, a framework that doesn't change, that doesn't cause lack of clarity, or that doesn't put you in potter, as we would say down here. So let me get into it. Let me just use the replay function. I'll use the replay function up to here. Now, for this first step, framing the actual trade idea. Now, there's a few things that I could actually see in prices development currently. Those being, that's messy. But those being where we actually position, or what happened. What's the story that's being told leading up to this trade idea. Now, time ago, start of August, I was waiting for a specific order flow range to be mitigated. Order flow range that will warrant longs. When we get the mitigation, this is on a 4 time frame currently, but we get the mitigation and we understood where price is likely to go to in regards to liquidity. So we get the delivery, we get the more or less follow through on when was this? Say the 26th of August. Now, in terms of actually properly framing the idea now, it got to a state where we understood what happened before and where the current market is trading, or how it's trading, so to speak. Where we got a situation where the last order flow range liquidity high was cleared. So it means that 1, the objective is met, and 2, we began to operate within different conditions. What's interesting is that the moment we clear the high, more or less sweep or clear the high, we then get this switch in order flow, where it speaks to me at this stage that instead of going towards more longs or playing towards more longs for me to frame actual trade idea, instead I can take what the market is showing, take what the market giving, take what Dow is giving. Whereas like I already had a sweep, I had a switch in order flow, and there's enough evidence or there's reason for me now to think that, you know what, shorts are being framed currently. I don't think you can keep on messing around with trying to long a market that the long objective has already been met. So it signals to me that, you know what, it's time to switch the narrative. Let's frame the idea for shorts now. That was the motive, right? So it means we got this short idea frame based on the completion of a few objectives or sequence of events. That high being cleared, that objective liquidity high being cleared, and switching order flow happening. Now, in terms of actually framing, or not framing, but how we're actually getting involved in prices development, so the second stage, is we look for a range and what validates the range. Now, I went over this in a previous video that you could just scroll through and pay close attention to. But in short, we wait for certain things to happen. Those things being order flow range liquidity high creation, order flow range high creation, and order flow range low creation. How do I validate either? Order flow range high creation validated by the support and liquidation. Now, the support and liquidation must be found within 50% of the actual range that I intend to use. For the order flow range low, order flow range low, validation, I wait for this thing called a reverse switching order flow. So basically a sign showing me that price is actually concreting or setting in stone this low. And we get that when this in between high, or not in between high, but like a intermediary high was taken. Once this high goes, I know for certain that this low will be set in stone for the actual range to play from. If I just carry this back just a bit, if I carry it back just a bit, we can see here from this high to this low operating as a valid range based on one, the support and liquidation, which was validified by it being within 50% of the order flow range I intend to play from, and the order flow range liquidity low or range low based on the reverse switching order flow happening. So this, let me just remove this text. So this high being cleared was set in stone this range from this high to this low. If I kind of scroll out, once we had this completed already, then it kind of move on to the third step in the actual approach, the entry. The standard entry, 80% of the order flow range. Now I have it already lined out in my settings for these boxes, so you could probably pause the video at this point and just copy these. Yeah, pause the video and just copy these. And I usually enter for Dow at the 80% of the actual order flow range liquidity, or order flow range, so to speak, right? So if we remove this and show, it means that regardless of when this when we get the actual delivery, as long as it's within my actual time zone, my time period, then it's valid, because we got all the supporting sequence of events. Yeah, the sequence of events. We have the sequence of events already covered, and this means now that the trade is a check mark, is good to go, as long as we have the final validificator, which would be the time. So if you move forward a bit, we can see that the setup happened when our fully formed on the 27th, the Tuesday, 27th of August. And if you just move forward and play price forward, we get a situation happening where on the following day, on the 28th, the Wednesday, we actually get the support and liquidation cleared. Now my alert would have gone off for me to actually set my limits. Once my alert goes off, my limits are oftentimes set and they just wait, and that will facilitate my entry. As for the exit, we just target the order flow range liquidity low. So the objective based on the methodology is that if we looking to play towards a high, or if we looking to play shorts, the idea is to target the order flow range liquidity lows. So operating from 80% of the order flow range, that's the positioning, the entry, and the exit will be at, in this case, 0% of the actual range, where this high represents 100%, this low represents 0%, and my entry represents 80%. I really hope that made sense. I really hope that made sense indeed, or it clicks. But the four step framework I abide by: frame the trade idea, how are we getting involved in price development, so drawing out the range, the entry 80%, and the exit targeting the low as a result. Now if you want to become a better trader, more zoned in, don't miss out on my free methodology session that will happen this Friday. I will just post a link in the description with more details. So get back to this video. So eventually we get the delivery, and as I always say, is way too calm. It's way too calm and way too calm. Idea was framed, we understood how we intend to get involved in prices development, we understand the entry, and we know for certain where we're exiting. Now this framework eliminates most high risk trades that are taken, or most ridiculous trades, or stupid trades, avoidable losses, however you may call them. Having a framework that is set in stone and is clear in the approach, it eliminates so many bad habits in regards to trading. What I could urge you to do is find your own framework, or say for example, use my framework as a stepping stone and the methodology as a stepping stone, but seek to develop your own. Make it personal, make it unique, make it like you. That is one thing I could I could say that I want relayed in this video properly, in this little trade breakdown. Now I have this diagram drawn, and this diagram represents more or less the same thing that we just went through, but in a different way, if that makes sense, where you're not confused by candlesticks and charts, for instance. Whereas a situation where you have a high being created and you have a low being created, but you don't know for certain that this low is the low that represents your order flow range. Why? Because where is the support and liquidation from here to here, from this high to this low? Where is the actual, let me see if I can draw this out. Where is the support and liquidation? Press Control because I got a magnet. Where is the support and liquidation from within? It's like you can't see it. So in such cases, you know for certain that this can't be my range low just as yet. So it means that we just wait for this low to go and actually form like a proper range low. And how we know the range low is set in place, reverse switching order flow. And how we know the high is set in place by having the support and liquidation. As I said, the support and liquidation must be found within 50%. So that's messy, but 50%. So in this box, within this box, or the top half of this box, that's where support and liquidation must be found in order to validate the range. So from this high to this low, that's what makes it valid. Support and liquidation validates the high, and the reverse switching order flow, so proof that price is actually switching in momentum, or the flow I would say, then you know for certain this low is set in place. Once we have the range already created, entry is at 80%. I have this line marked at 85%, but we can get into that a bit later. But have the entry set at 80%, and it represents the same more or less entry that we use here, or the same framework that we use here. Entry at 80%, exit at 0%, so the order flow range liquidity low. Way too calm. Way too calm. Way too calm. Absolutely nothing more to say. Nothing more to say. I hope this provides a bit of clarity, and I hope it provides a further understanding as to the methodology I use and the methodology as being relayed within the actual group, within the private group. I hope this is calm and the information was communicated well, and have a good one.